Alright, hold on. I can hear background noise on the back. Alright guys, I'm gonna give testing because this is the first time going live today. So I'll give it a quick test to making sure that everything is good. Maybe I'm gonna lower the music a little bit. Alright, low. Alright, sounds good. I'm gonna mute this before it starts to get echoing like crazy. Anyways, guys, welcome to my first stream here on this YouTube channel on JoJo Dev. This is my first stream here today, and if you guys are watching this in the future, when it gets uploaded to YouTube, welcome to the video, guys. Today I'll be working on my indie game, and you just playing around, fixing bugs, and see what we come up with today, and see how that goes. Let me know if any audio issues are happening that it's not looking good. Feel free to let me know for anybody here. But I'll be mentioning this over time, and hopefully audio stuff is gonna be good, because that's always an issue when it comes to a stream, especially the first one. So, but welcome. Alrighty. I'm just looking at some stuff on stream real quick and making sure everything's okay. I don't know if my avatar guys are a little bit too big or not, so I'm debating on that right now. Alright, I'll leave it like that. That's how I'll leave it for now. If it's being too overcomplicated and stuff, then it is what it is. Alright, so let's get started here today. If you guys are new here, or if you're watching this video in the future, you're new here, this is JoJo Game Dev YouTube channel. This is where I do a lot of development blogs, a lot of things that probably be helpful, hopefully, to some people out there that might need it. And that's the plan. So let me go. Something I have not been to for a while is checking my Trello board. It's been quite a while since I've been here. So let me log in real quick, and we can see what we have in there so far. Create an account. I already have an account. Am I tripping? Am I using the wrong email? Am I using the wrong email for this? I thought I already had one. Or no, let me log in. Maybe it's the no, it should be this one. Why is it saying that I need to create a new account? I think this is tripping today. I swear I had Trello before. You know, I might be using the other one. And I don't know why I'm using my other email for this. If I am using it. I guess we won't be able to go to our Trello board today. I'm gonna say create account even though I already have one. No, it's not my first time on Trello board. Oh my gosh. Am I using the wrong? Go to my boards. I guess no Trello board today, even though I wanted to use it. I don't understand why. It's saying that I don't have any. Skip, skip, skip. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what happened to my original Trello boards in here. Well, that's something we'll figure out some other time, because it's not gonna doesn't look like it's gonna work out today. All right, well, no Trello board today, I guess. I guess we can just begin what we're planning to do. So, I noticed some bugs that I would like to fix. There were some bugs I wanted to fix when I was playing around here. So we have this bug over here. So let's play it real quick. Let's play through this game real quick. All right. Cool. And also another thing I didn't mention at the beginning of this stream is that the game that I'm working on is called Edenville. It's an indie game that I'm working on that I plan to release someday. I'm currently just in development status or mode right now, trying to make this and hook up all the things that I need. I had the majority of the gameplay mechanics of this game already, and the goal right now is to just start hooking those up and be able to, you know, have a good gameplay flow for the game. So I wanted it to be kind of like cozy game, but also maybe some type of battle in here, attacks and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure just yet how much of a action I want this game to be. So there are some bugs here. So there's one bug down here that would be, actually I would like to fix that first. There's this bug on the slots down here below, where this one's actually not showing the first frame like the other ones are. So I would like to look into that and see why is that an issue. Why is that an issue? Actually, you know what? Let me. No ads right now. I'm trying to change the music. Maybe it's. The other one seems a little bit too much for me right now. All right, so yeah, let's look into this and figure out why is that an issue and why only this one has that, or is displaying all the items in there. I'm not entirely sure why that is happening at the moment, where it's the only one that is not working. So let me look into this. So we have the hotbar. We go through all of this stuff in here and figure out which one of these is the one. This should be the fifth one. Yeah. There. Ooh, it even highlights it too. I guess that's. Yeah, look at that. It tells you. I'm here trying to figure out which one it is, and it's great that it actually highlights it for you for the ones you selected. That's actually pretty cool. All right. So let's go look into this. So if you notice, you can see all the sprites. The other ones have the same thing, or they only have one. Yeah, they all have the same thing. For whatever reason, this one's the only one that doesn't have. That's not working. So let's look into that. So we go to this icon. Let's look at this. Hold on. Oh, it's never setting the region rec for it. So if I set the region rec for it, so if we copy this value and put it back in here, there we go. Okay, so now I gotta figure out why I didn't set it. So let's look into that. Let's go into my code here real quick and figure out why that did not get set correctly. Okay, so you got UI down here. We're looking for the hotbar, UI hotbar or something like that. There it is. So why are we not setting the region rec for this? So it goes into ready. It grabs all the shouts for this container and iterates through all of them, connects them correctly. Set it up for a hotbar, so let's set the index for each of those slots. Update the icon size to be a 32 by 32. Okay, so we get update visuals. We get all our items from our inventory and only grab the ones that are actually active on the inventory. And we set the item to that. Okay, alright, so let's go into that function then. Let's go to that function. We copy it to, okay. Alright, so here is where we're setting the size. So we even set the region rec for it. That's what I'm looking for right now. Update visuals. There we go. Rec size. Oh, I forgot to add the ID hashes. ID hash. I see. I forgot to do that. Yes, I forgot to do that. So that's the only bad thing about this. Is I need to find a hash for that ID. Alright. So there's two things I would like to do here. First is when I update the visuals, I would like to do not print error, I forgot. That's in GD script. Let's do an error log here. We're gonna log our item ID and then right after we'll log in the hash. Yeah. Okay, dot hash. And the reason for me doing this is the fact that I couldn't put a string here and then be able to compare it to each other. I have no idea why I wasn't able to, so I decided to use the hash of the string instead. So that's why I'm doing the hash right now. Or whatever, an order map didn't work. So that's what I'm doing right now. So let's build this work. Is it still playing? Yeah, let me pause that. Let me pause that. We'll go and build it. Let's build the update for it. Just looking at chat real quick and making sure everything is good. Where did my other guy go? Oh, it doesn't know that I'm here, is it? It knows it in the other one. There was two earlier. Alright, that's fine. It's good to know that it doesn't go through between transitions on OBS. Alright. Anyway, so I built it already. So my goal right now is to play it and be able to see that log and figure out what is the hash for it, and use that hash to. And one thing I can do, well, I don't know. I think I was gonna set a default one if it doesn't find one, and I don't know. I think the default one is set to 0, so that's why it's like that. So I just need to find a hash for it. So let's go into the game. And you should get a list of these items in here, if set correctly. I gotta fix this tile source as well. What? I gotta look at the. Alright, so it's not in here. I gotta look at the console actually. Let me open console real quick. Open the console. We'll go all the way up. Hopefully it's enough. There it is. Oh, oops, I went too far up? What happened? Oh no, it was just there. It refreshed itself. For whatever reason, it's still. You know what? Damn. Let's restart it. I'm gonna start it and then pause it. I gotta fix this tile set atlas source. For whatever reason, it keeps spamming it like crazy right now. So that is not helping me. So we'll pause it once it come in. Alright, pause. And let's look at the code for those. Alright, so there we go. So we got the hoe, which is this hash. We got the axe, which is this. We got the pickaxe, which is this. We got the watering can, and then we have the scythe. So if we copy that and we put it into here, whoops, we put it into there, and then we use, I guess any of the other ones will be fine. We'll use this one here, and then just make sure we say, hey, this is the tool scythe, and build that. Wait, I need to pause it. There we go. Alright, I'm waiting for this to build. Okay, cool. So let's go into the game and we'll see what's up. Let's see what's up right now. Fixed. There we go. It is fixed now. Let's go. Alright. So that's one fix. The other problem that I have with this right now is when I am using the scythe on grass, and sometimes the raycast will overshoot to the next cell. So like right now, if I click on this grass to be able to, you know, cut it down, sometimes the raycast will go overshoot and detect this rock, and it doesn't have any checks to determine if this is the one you collided with is grass or not. And because it doesn't do any checks, it changes this icon to something else. It's like you actually are trimming down grass, and you get weed out of it. But it doesn't happen all the time though. So I got weed out of nowhere. See, it took down that tree out of nowhere and it changed it to grass. That's funny. So one thing we can do, one thing we can do about that is to go into where I'm doing all that detection and ignore anything that comes around that it doesn't detect correctly. Right, so here's what I'm doing to raycast for it. So doing a raycast from it and detecting any layers that has an environmental layer tagged on it. But inside of here, I don't do anything about it to determine if whatever I hit is actually the tile that I want to hit, right? So I want to keep track of what I clicked on. So when I start this action, it calls this one's first. So somewhere in here, I have to keep track of whatever I clicked on and determine if it's a rock, if it's grass, or if it's what is the other one? Tree. If I'm detecting multiple items, no, that shouldn't be a problem at all right now. Let me look at that again. Let's go back in there. Let me look at it again. So earlier we saw the tree just just automatically just changed to something else. What is a good way to handle that case? I feel like, yeah, we definitely gotta keep track of whatever we clicked on. So if I select the scythe, clicked on this, so for whatever reason I'm still, I gotta fix the animations. And there you go, that tree is, I don't know, out of nowhere. I don't know where it disappeared. And that's because you can see that little red line that appears there. Well, how does that happen? Out of nowhere, he changed it to this tile, which I've never set it to. So something happened and it ended up changing it to that tile. That's crazy. So what happens if I keep doing it? So he changes back to grass, and then it's gone. No more. Okay, so it's still kind of. Okay, so now it's done with this one, so I'm not able to do whatever I was doing. Maybe if I lower the recast. What if I make the recast a little bit smaller so it doesn't go too far away and detect something else that is further away? You can also try that. Let's put 5 on it. Let's lower it down to 5. Making sure this also is 5. I probably should put a. You know, let's do that right now. Const. Let me put a float. Distance. We put it as 5 because I don't want to keep changing it multiple times for one item here. So we can do that. Any other places we're using it? Nope, we're not. Okay, so let's build that, and let's close this because otherwise it's not going to build it correctly. Oh dude, I love this music. So much nostalgia sometimes. Oh man. Alright, so let's go back in here, wait for it to refresh, and let's get in there. I wish I could be a kid again. Alright, let's go in here. Let's figure out if that is still happening. Oh, that spamming of error logs right now is killing my frames right now. It's crazy. Alright. It's still pretty big actually. But, I mean, it didn't do anything this time. I'm not saying that's not there anymore, but... Alright, yeah, He ended up getting rocks right now. I just saw that. Another thing I do not like is that if I select this, I don't want my character to go there. I want it to be on the tile before and then do that. I don't like it that it's actually going on top of it. I think if I do that, I'm able to fix this problem without needing to do what I was doing. But it's also a good idea to add some checks as well. So in case that ever happens and it slips up somehow, I'm able to, you know, handle that case. He just took down that tree. Oh, that's hilarious. Actually, this scythe and the grass, I just added it last minute, so I expected to be bugs in here, you know? I expected it to be bugs. Because I just added. Dude, that thing, I need to figure out that tile source thing. Because it's completely eating my frames right now. I don't know why this is a problem. I wonder, I don't know. I have no idea what's happening continuously. Yeah, see, he keeps spamming that. And that's my frames right now. It's dying. It is dying. Alright. So, right now I'm trying to figure out what is the case that I want to do. Because more now, what I want... Alright, we can try to debug that a little bit, can we? So we go here, but I want it... So if I click here, it tells me the path where I'm going, those red boxes in here. So I guess I gotta remove the last box. But what if I'm already here? See, it goes right on top of it. So let's go into the code or where that is happening. And that is happening in my A-star character class. Where is that? Retrieve path from position. Retrieve path closest to position. Cancel A-star. Clear solids. We're drawing it. Yeah, so it has to be those two. So retrieve path from position. So it gets... And check it to see if it's null. If it is null, we return, and that means there's no tile map set for this A-star path. If we are drawing something, then clear those draw cells that we're drawing it on. And then we check to see if that point is solid and there's nothing interrupting it. We do we get a vector from my player to the target. So that gets a vector pointing to me or to the player. We then check to see if any of those axes is bigger than the other and set one of them to be 0. Because I don't want it to be diagonal, right? I don't want no diagonals happening in here. I don't even need to know. Oh, yes, I kind of do, actually. Well, not necessarily. I could put 1. But I don't know if it's -1 or not. So, yeah, I guess this is better, I guess. You need to multiply it by 16 to get the tile size for it. Because my tile size is 16. I should probably put have a magic number in here. So then from there, I'm getting so why am I doing a diff here if I only need the target position? So if it's solid, Oh, I see. So if this point is solid, or the one that I clicked on, it tries to get the cell next to it. But what happens if the cell next to it is solid too? Well, actually, I wouldn't be able to get a path to it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So it tries to find a path near. So if I select a tile, let's say I select this tile, and since this tile location is solid because there's an actual trunk, it will try to get the cell next to it that's closer to the player and try to find a path to it. Okay, that makes sense. The only problem here is that if that cell next to it is also occupied or solid, it will not find a path to it. Otherwise, if it's not solid, it just finds a path next to it, and I slice the last one. This last one, not the last one. I slice one out of it to remove the one that the player is on, because it still adds the path of where the player is located, and I don't really want that one. So I slice one of it and then I return it. So I need to figure out what to do with this path. Should I remove one at the end? I don't think that makes sense. So after I call this function, it comes from game manager. Where's my game manager here? It's nowhere in there. So let me look. Game manager. So I shouldn't need to go that far up. So this is the complete path. So here we go. Left click. So if I had to do a path, it generates a path. So that is the path variable. Where is this located? Here. So I get path points here, which calls that function from the GD script that we were just on, and returns that, and then gives me an array of path points. So in here, if I have a current active slot, I want those path points to be different. So it has one for fishing, which I'm not looking at fishing right now. It has one when if I click on the soil, and if that current tool that I have active right now, it's either a hoe or a watering can, or if it's a seed. I removed the last one. Okay. Do I need to do that if it's an environment? Why don't we try that? Looks like I had it commented out, and I don't know why. Maybe there was an issue that I was having back then. So let's build this real quick. Alright, so I finished building. Let's run it back. Let's see how this looks like. The problem is the debug draw or the path will probably not show correctly. It's because I removed the path point from it after I How does it determine the draw stuff from it? So I retrieve the path points. Yeah, see, the moment that I call that function, I draw the path points already, but it doesn't know that I removed one from the list from the C++ side. So I will need to re-render this correctly again. I can add a delay on it, so making sure that any updates that came around took place. So that's one thing I could do, I think. Just a minor delay. No, what would that do though? That wouldn't do anything. I don't know. Either that or I'm gonna have to pass in a function back to GD script and then render those. in case I made any updates to it. Alright, so let's test this real quick. Alright, so now it's not doing anything. So this works, but if it's that's a good point. So the reason why the other one didn't work is because it was diagonal, but technically it's still one tile away. And it didn't do anything with it, at least with my current logic. But as of right now, this is working, kind of working. The problem that I have right now is that because it's trying to lines up at the top corner of the cell, I may need to put it so that my player is actually closer to the center. Because my raycast is a little bit higher than it needs to be, so I want the player to be a little bit lower. So if I am already here, I think I may need to go a little bit lower. And this one actually went right in front of it though. Yeah, that worked correctly. This one worked correctly. I gotta fix those debugs. I have no idea how it's happening. I don't know why in certain cases they decide to go in front of it. So okay, so let's give it a test. So if I'm 2 tiles away, this looks like it's about 2 tiles away. If I click on it, it goes right in front of it, which is not exactly what I was hoping for. What if I'm a little bit further away and decide to do it? Does it still doesn't work? Okay, so if I'm a little further away, definitely works. The reason why this is not trimming it all the time is because of what I said with the raycast being a little bit too higher than it needs to be. Okay, so if I am really close to it, that works too. But if I'm 1 tile, almost 2 tiles away, I guess. I'm trying to debug it right now. I'm trying to figure out why there's certain situations where it actually goes on top of the tile instead. See, like this time, I don't know why this one went right on top of where I actually clicked on. I was trying to read my... Maybe I should increase my game audio, my music audio a little bit. And... can I add any filters to this? Okay, I can. Any noise suppression on these would be great. Oh, I already am doing one already. Hello, hello. There we go. Maybe this one's a little bit better. I didn't add any. It should already have it, but I don't know why it didn't have it this time. Let me make sure I sound good. Alright. I don't want any echoing happening. Cool. And I gotta fix this. I don't know why my character's like that. Jeez. Alright, so I gotta figure out why it doesn't do it all the time. This one went right in front of it again. No clue as to why. I'm wondering. No, it's not. It shouldn't be the case. Should not be the case as to why that is happening. That won't work correctly. There's just certain situations where it doesn't want to work. Okay. Get some of that. I want to play some Pokemon. Yeah, see, sometimes it just goes right in front of it. I don't get why. At the moment, as why searching, yeah, he removed that tree behind it, which is great. Which is great, great, great. Let's see, let's see. Oh, if it's an environment, you know what can be happening here? Is that I think I know what's happening. Yeah, well, let me see. Let me look at soil real quick. It only removes it if the item that I'm holding is either a hoe, a watering can, or if it's seed. But I can probably also put it here and say if it's an yeah, I think that's what works. Problem is because of the if and the else statements here. The problem is that my grass here is layered on top of the soil. So right now, how this works is that it's when it retrieves the tile info or the tile that I selected, is technically it is soil because below it is soil, and then it's also an environment tile because it has grass on top of it. That's why it's not fully working all the time, and it only is removing the last one of it because I'm only doing it for the whole watering can or if it's a seed, and that kind of makes sense right now. So what I can do here, we can say item secondary type, and I'm just gonna say if it's a scythe. I'll work on fixing that if this ends up fixing it. Oops, I ended up selecting it all, which I didn't want. All right, so let's try that. Good thing I looked into that, you know. Sometimes you get, sometimes it just pops out of nowhere. I definitely gotta fix this a little bit better. I do not like this at all right now. Or maybe this was why. Maybe, yeah, because I could put grass on top of grass. I mean, like the grass that you can cut in, the longer grass, you can put it in normal grass tiles. So this is never always going to be the case where it's going to be soil and environment at the same time. All right, so let's build that bad boy. I mean, at least it makes sense though, right? At least it makes sense. All right, let's finish. Okay, finish building. Let's run it. Yeah. Let me mute my phone. All right, so I should never see a case where if I click on the tall grass, the player should be right on top of it. That should never ever be the case. As of right now. Okay, that worked. Yeah, I gotta fix this other part here, but I just don't want the player to be on top of the grass if I clicked on that one. I want it to be on the tile before. Okay, that is exactly what I was hoping for. Cool. So no matter what distance I'm in, oops, I gotta fix this thing with the logs. This is crazy spamming my logs right now and making my game laggy right now. That is crazy. Cool. And this is exactly what I wanted it to happen. I just gotta fix this recast. And maybe instead of going from the tool itself, maybe I can lower it down a little bit. That's probably the next best scenario. So let's try lowering it down a little bit. But only lowering it down if I'm looking left or right. Right? Okay, so we got this distance. We do a raycast from here to the ray. And then I subtract the distance 5 from there, so he goes a little bit behind me as well. Just making sure he hit anything behind me. So then I do a raycast. I then I'll check to see if I collided with anything. Oh, I get the mouse coordinates to be in the tile map coordinates. And then I check to see if there's a tile data in it. If there's no tile data, that means this is the cell that I selected on did the cell or the hit position is it's not on a tile that exists in the tile map. So then I try to offset that hit the hit offset position. I try to offset that to make sure I find that location. And then try to do the tile data again. So I do an offset once again. Otherwise, if it's still null, I increase the tile map Y by 1, just in case it's a tile that has multiple tiles, or like trees. Let's look at the trees real quick. Let's go on ground environments. So for trees, as you can see, it involves multiple tiles on top of each other. So if I selected on a tile that it collided with the tile that's actually a little bit above of it, I try to go one more down and check to see if this tile is a tree or not. So that's why I'm doing the +1 on it. And I do that. Okay, so the problem here is on top though. When I do the actual ray cast collision, I need to lower it down a little bit. The only thing I need to figure out here is if the facing direction, if the X is a little higher, then we can lower down on the Y. Because it's probably a little bit too high. And we can try that right quick. So we can try and do we do a couple calls of direction. So we can do a vector to player face direction, right? We are just play face direction. Will fix itself after I set this. And what I wanted it to do in here is just do an abs of the X. And if this is greater than 0, that means that the player is facing either negative or positive X. And it's not facing on the Y. And what I want to do here is to be able to lower this down a little bit. What is the ray real quick? What does it do? I may need to do that here too. Oh, you know what? It's probably just not setting it correctly here. The visual of the... This is why I need to change that. Okay. What was I thinking beforehand? So how does it calculate the ray? Because if it's on the X, It's just either does it's either 1 or here times the array length, which is 16. So I'm wondering if I should lower this as well, so it's not fully. No, because that could be a tile behind it, and I at least want it to be able to touch that, so it should be fine. Yeah, should be okay. So what I want to do here is be able to increase this. Move this up a little bit. The reason I'm doing this so I don't have to update the values from to and from at the same time. I only need to do it from the from. And I want to increase the Y. How much slower do I want it to be? So 16 is a full tile, 8 is half of a tile. Let's do 4. Let's see how that actually looks like. So only if I'm facing left or right is the rate cast is going to be a little bit lower. We'll test that out and then we'll fix it and make it better. So first is testing. Let me hydrate real quick, guys. Let me hydrate. Got chocolate milk this morning. All right. Okay, so let's test this out. Let's see the raycast. Oh, I don't have the right one selected. Oh, you know what? The visuals is wrong. Okay, so that's. I don't know if it's actually doing it correctly. You know what? Let's fix that. I don't like having. I don't like having magic numbers everywhere here. So let's change that. Put this over here. Oh, we're not doing this here at all. Okay, and the other thing that I was doing right now is the visuals. It's not correct either. I can probably keep track of that from and to, so I don't need to do this all the time. Like I said before, let's make it work and then we'll figure it out after. And let's change that to be distance here. Cool. So let's make it work and we'll fix it after, make it look better. Cool. Let's go back in there again. Alright, so let's try this again. Okay, that's a little bit lower. It's probably a lot better actually. So let's look at that. So if I go on the top, it should be the same. No issues there. But if it's left, it definitely looks a lot lower. May need to put it maybe a tiny bit lower, I guess. It just depends. So if I go out and make it work with that, it just doesn't work. If I'm right next to it, it actually is fine. But if I go out a little bit more and have the A star come kick in and move my player, it ends up not being in the correct place. It ends up, the raycast ends up being a little bit too high. But I don't know if it's okay though. We can probably lower it down a little bit though. Okay, so let's clean this up a little bit. So one, I'm not doing this all the time here. So let's create here. Let's do a Godot vector here too. We'll do a from and Godot vector 2, and we do a 2. So theoretically, I don't need to do any of this stuff if I keep track of it correctly. All we need to do just use from and to, right? And then hold on, this is only showing when it's attacking. Got it. Okay. And then we set it correctly on top, it should be fine. So we don't have to come back and change it down below every single time. That's it. Let's get the 2. Where is 2 here? But that should be better when it comes to code. And all I need to do is just update it on top, and it should do it down there below as well. Okay. So let's see, flow horizontal ray offset. Let's do 6. I'll try 6 and see how that looks like. Cool. Alright, it's done. Let's run it once again. Let's run it back. Run it back. Load it. And let's try that again. Once I fix this, I gotta fix that log. Can we come here? Actually, I didn't even see it. Did that even work? Oh yeah, it's down. It is all the way down here. I wonder if the visuals ended up working correctly, because this is working fine. Huh. I think this the visuals is wrong. Because I'm able to remove. So if I click on that one, even though the raycast debug draw was on top, I was still able to do that here. Not that I really care about much fixing that, but why is that different? What did it have before? Let's go back real quick. What did it do? So it did the same thing as before. From plus ray. Oh, it just uses a hand position. Did the other one use a hand position too? Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out why it's different. Why it didn't work. Or why it's not working. Or showing it correctly if it's the same. Unless it's updating it multiple times. Am I updating this? Sending it everywhere else? No, I just created it right now. I just created it. It's only going here once. Right, because after... Well, actually, you know what? What if I... attacking? How's... What happens? What happens if it never collided with anything? Well, actually, the attack never happened, so it should be fine. I was just wondering because the only time I set this to false is inside after I do the collision check. So I was wondering, like, what happens if I actually don't collide with anything? But the axe actually doesn't happen until you actually click on something that the axe or scythe or some type of tool is actually doing certain action on a certain tile that needs to be used on. Okay. I was debating is why is this so different? Let me open my GitHub real quick. And we'll do a check on the difference between of what I just did with the debug draw down below, which is this, and then what I did on top. So okay, so let's figure out why is this different. So we do a from, which is what I'm doing down here. We set it to the hand position. You get a 2, which is just from to the plus ray. And then we subtract it from the face direction. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh no, it is direction. Okay, never mind. I thought I was thinking hand position. I was like, wait, that doesn't look right, but it is right. Okay. Then we subtract it from the direction and certain distance. That's it. But why is it offset like that? Crazy. I mean, I'm not doing anything different here. Yeah, the only difference is this, but I added it on both before and it was working just fine. I don't understand why it's not working the second time. And position 2, and subtract it times distance, which now is just a variable now. That's basically it though. Nothing crazy happening in this one here. Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out why is this wrong? But if I did collide with something, it automatically sets it to false anyway, so it doesn't re-update itself again. If it were to. Yeah, it only goes in here after from to is set already, so yeah, that's very strange. That is very strange as to why it's doing that, but I feel like it's just a debug draw issue and not an actual issue. Alright, so I'm not entirely really sure why my raycast is so off. That is a debug issue, but not a real issue. What happens if I go down? So now it's facing that way. Okay. Very odd. But it's just the debug draw that I'm doing right now that is the problem, and it's not the actual real problem. I don't know why this is different. What if I were to just recalculate again? Why don't we try that and see if that fixes it? If I were to redo it in here. I don't like it that I'm copying the code for that, but let's try it out. I just don't get why this ends up being different though. But Alright, so it's built already. Let's run it back. Let's see what's up. Running back. Alright. Let's see if that is still an issue. So let's select my scythe. Let them grass. Do the top one real quick. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. I don't get why I need to set it there. Oh, jeez. That's crazy. Yeah, let's look at that. This is just working as it should. The debug line. Although the debug line is something I created and not... I mean, it's not entirely sure why I need to call it back in here again. It doesn't make sense at all. One bit. Oh, no. Well... No, because by that point it's already false. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It could be just because once I attack, it is not setting this right away, but it doesn't know it yet. So then I'm gonna have to redo it in here. But this is a draw line, so I should be able to do it. Huh. I just feel like maybe just like a frame or two that is off. It should be able to reset itself correctly. Am attacking is false. What happens if I do this instead and disable this? Instead of doing attacking is true right away. I wonder who sets attacking to true first though. Oh, here on start attack. Oh, I see. And then set it back to false in here. But in my case, I set it back to false right away. I'm gonna do hit instead. And so hit is true, just ever set it back to false is when I escape right here. After the action is done, I'm able to set it back to false. Actually, don't know if I build it. Actually, just build it once again. Don't remember. Alright, I did not build it, so maybe I did. Let's set this up to date, right? I saw that log. Alright, let's run it back. Let's see if I actually needed to do that or not. Hopefully it does, because I don't want to recopy the code again. I mean, I could create a function to retrieve those values anyway, but still. Alright, so let's test this out. But if it's noticed, it's still there, which is what I didn't want. I did not want that. I need it to be cleared. But it kind of fixes itself after doing it. What I wanted to do though, wait, hold on. I mean, it doesn't end attack. What I can do is maybe not set it to true here. You know what? Yeah. So let's not set it to false right away then. We'll just set to true. And once something hit, it's attacking. And it has not hit anything. We go through here. Which then, detects a hit. And if it does hit, we're able to draw it. And at that point, we already have a from and to. And then we set it to false. The only thing I would do right now is after the end attack, we can set it back to false. So that way when it re-renders it again, we don't see that draw debug line again. So let's rebuild it again. Cool. Let's go back in here. Okay, let's run it in there real quick. Let's double check and see if that is fixed or not. No, I didn't see anything. Hold on. Oh, I briefly saw it, I think. Yeah, you can see it a tiny bit. It's very quick. Or is that the axe? Yeah, no, this is not working. Hold on. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm not seeing it. I'm tripping. I am tripping. Chocolate milk. For whatever reason. Okay, so we have this true. And we want to do this. It only hit once it's actually false, right? As long as it's false, it will never go back here again. We set it to true. We'll never ever go back to it. But then from and to is already initialized correctly. Do I ever set this to true somewhere else? It should always be false. So when I enter this action, it's already false. So that should be fine. And then when I start attack is when I do this. It could be that I'm doing it way too slow. Is it because I'm doing it way too slow? Like, it is super fast and it's not able to do it right away. It only goes here once I started that attack. Right, once I start the attack, it goes in there, it does whatever it needs to, and then I'll end attack and set it to false. I do a Q redraw on it, but it doesn't draw it away because it's not hit. And I never draw it afterwards. That's a problem here. I never Q redraw after doing it. So it never draws that debug line. What I can do is I can redraw it, but then there's no point of putting it in here though. That's why. It only draws it once. And because it's only setting this to true, let's close all of these stuff here that I don't need. Its hit is still false at this point when it draws it. But it only calls it once, and then it calls it again after it's false, so it never actually displays it. I'm still confused as to why it didn't work actually removing the grass when it came to it. So let's see how that looks like. So I can remove the Q draw there and only draw it after we actually hit something. I don't know if I actually like that though. I want it to always render something. You know what you can do? You know what? We can try this case that I was. So let's revert it back to what it was then. Where this top part that is hit, it's not there anymore. But we calculate this on the start attack instead. Because I mean, technically that's where you should be doing the raycast from. It should already be detected correctly. So I'll calculate the from and to here instead. And let's build this bad boy and let's test it out. Cool. And let's run it and let's see. Alright, so let's select my scythe. Let's cut this grass. There we go. Okay, so another problem now is that it doesn't disable it anymore. But it is showing it in the right place. So why is it not drawing it again? So it's text false. Ah, that's why. That is why. I forgot to revert that in here. Cool. I'll just run it again. This should be working now. This should be working now. So let's run it and let's see if it's true. Load in. All right. Come in here. Great. That is exactly what I wanted it to do. Cool. And if I do it this way, that works. And if I come from the top, great. That works too. Actually, it didn't on the one that was on, which, I mean, I guess that's okay. I don't see that being a big problem. I don't think so. So if the current, so if I select the top one, it will, and there is tall grass on the tile before it that the player is on, it will collide with the one that's on sometimes, and it will use that one instead. I don't think that's a big problem. Like did it right now. And that was probably a little bit too close, which is why it's not doing it. Just minor bugs in here, but other than that, it should be theoretically fixed. I can always come back to this again. Either that or I'm too far away. I might be too far away. Am I too far away? Yeah, that did not. That should not have been a prod thing to do. I'm gonna have to watch that back. It just. Yeah, so I need to also add a check. Because I believe it removed the rock, right? And you're not supposed to remove a rock with a scythe. But for the majority of the part, this is working. It's exactly doing what I wanted to do, and it fixed all the issues that I was having before. But when it comes to game development, when you fix a problem, sometimes problems happen in other ways. And the other problems here is that same code that I was fixing up right now for the scythe, it works it still uses the same code when it's chopping down trees or rocks. So we gotta test those as well. And sometimes, you know, in development, not a lot of people do that. They just fix one issue and they never actually check the other ones and see if that's gonna be a problem or not. So we want to make sure we don't do that in here, or at least try our best. Okay. Okay, so now, see? So I fixed all the problem. Now there's a problem with the trees. I'm not able to chop down trees anymore. I have to be really close to it. But if I use the A-star path, it does not work. See that? It does not work. Because I touched the A-star and tried to make it. So I'm clicking on it and it's not working. It's not going in there because I'm already close to it. But if I get close and I use my normal stuff, I'm able to go in there and do it. It's fine. But let's say I was using my phone and I was tapping the tree to be able to chop it down, and it will not do it because I'm a little bit too far away. Let's add a joystick in the game or find a way to tap and hold to move the player a little bit closer. That's gonna be a little bit of a problem. So debating if I should do this or not. I mean, theoretically, what do I want to do? What is the problem right now? So if I select this tree, I definitely need to be on it. This one's actually a tile way before it than it needs to be. It needs to be on this tile. So I think I need to fix that because it stops on top. It's gonna stop up here right now. See? So it needs to go one more down below and then be able to. But for some other reason, it's not doing that. For whatever reason, it is not doing that right now. All right, let me hydrate with chocolate milk. All right. So let's figure out why that is the problemo. Why stopping an extra tile beforehand. I believe this is happening here. As I'm doing it twice. So if it's an environment like a tree, so let's disable this one. I know that this is going to be a problem. For the grass, I can add a check and see if it's a grass, then don't do it. Only do it for the grass. But is it doing it for the rocks too? So let's pick up the pickaxe. Yeah, it's doing it for the for these rocks too. But it shouldn't be the case though. Why is it doing it twice? If it's an environment, is there a reason that this is happening twice? Oh, you know why? I know. I mentioned this earlier. And it slipped my mind right now. The problem has to do with what I'm doing in here. Give me a second. In here. I mentioned this earlier, but I want to bring it up again. So this is where it calls the function to retrieve the path from the A-star grid. So if the path that I selected, like my case, ended up being the rock, that tile location is considered a solid. So this is what I'm doing here is the target position is the rock, and that point in that A star is actually considered a solid because it's a rock, right? You can't go through rocks and all of that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing an offset to that target position and making it so that it is a tile before it. So I'm grabbing the tile position of this one, and I'm grabbing a direction from my player to the rock. So I have a direction going this way, right? And I'm offsetting that target position of the rock by that distance, or by the direction of that vector. So it's selecting this tile next to it right now. So that's what it's doing here with that offset. So I'm selecting it, the tile next to it, because the current tile that I selected is solid. So that's one. And then I come in here in a game manager, and in an environment node, and this else if statement here, if that tile that I selected is in environment, which is true when it comes to a rock, it removes that path again. So it's doing it twice. Okay, so I do definitely need to do that here. So I only want to remove it when it comes to grass, because when it comes to grass, there's no actual collisions in it, and it's not considered to be a tile where it's blocked by the A star, because you can go through grass, right? Tall grass, it's not a problem. So I want to make sure that if it's a grass, I want to do this because it's not doing it in the GD script since it's not considered a solid. So this is what I want to do in here, and this should fix it. No problemo. So let's build it. Let's build this with the sconce, and we should be solid in here. So if we test it again, it should be in a good spot right now. That's why when you fix a problem in your code and another feature or another thing that is using the same code, you gotta make sure you test all of those stuff. Because I would have skipped this and I'll be like, hey, I'm done. But I'm not really, because I messed up some other section of the game. So let's make sure with the grass that is still working. Cool. And it looks like it is. Now if I select this and I get this tree on top, I should be right behind it now. Cool. That is exactly what I wanted it to do. I select this one down here. Actually, I don't know if this one's gonna work. Can I go behind it? Oh yeah, I do. Sweet. Nice. Can I do rocks? Did I select the right one? Oh yeah, I selected the wrong one. Sorry. This is the hole. Cool. Let's go down here. Bam. Ooh, that's actually, I don't know if that's a problem or not. What happened here? Why can't I attack it again? Okay, I gotta figure that out. What if I do it the other way? Yeah, so I can do it this way, but I can't attack this rock anymore. Why not? What happened? What happened to this rock? I just did it once. My thing lagged for a second because of that debug thing that's happening. Gotta figure out why that is happening for that guy. But I don't understand why this one's not working anymore. and there's no way to debug it. I'm wondering if I can, and that'll be a pretty cool thing to have as a debug, is the tile that I selected to give me some info on it. I'm gonna have to create something like that. I think that'll be pretty sweet. Yeah, everything else works just fine. I don't understand why this one is not working and what happened to it. So that's fun. But other than that, a lot of things has been fixed. It's not still not fully fixed. There's some issues still, like that rock here that didn't work for whatever reason. So I gotta look into that and see what's happening. The next thing to fix is that freaking log debugger thing that's happening right now, which is making my game lag. So I gotta figure out where exactly this is happening. I just figured that out. That's the next thing to work out right now. What time is it? Okay. Still got time. Alright, so let's attach it. I process to that. And we'll debug it and figure out how to debug this problem here. Figure out why is this a problemo. I have no idea where it's happening though, so but I got some thoughts and theories, or I think it might be happening. But one thing is, I mean, it doesn't call this again. So I was having this issue last night, and I was already too late, and I was too tired to figure it out, so I decided to do it today. So I just gotta figure out where it was at again. Is it here? Oh, that's ocean. That's beach edges, pond edges. There we go. I just don't know why is it coming here again. But probably not. So it doesn't look like it. The other thing that I'm thinking of is probably the fishes, because they're in the water. And they continuously calling this one function here. Let's look for it. It's called retrieve tile info rs here. So they're calling this continuously. I'm assuming this is the problem. There's no tile data at this location. What is the error right now? Look at it's doing a lot of the 30s, 31s, and that is the tiles where the ponds are at. So that's making me think that it's part of the fish. The 3117 around the 30s is where these issues are happening right now. But this one doesn't look like this is doing 49 and 49. Or 49 -3. So that's not a problem. You know, let's put it down here real quick. And let's save that in here. Wait. Maybe that's not what I want it to be at. Hold on. It's not doing a for loop for all of them. I was wondering if I'm actually thinking of this correctly. I'm getting a lot of 49s in here. What is the atlas chords in this location here? I'm wondering if trying to get the atlas chords at a certain I'm looping through all my tile layers and I'm trying to get the tile data at that location. Position. I'm assuming position is a tile position. I should probably say that. So I grabbed the tile data of that tile position, and then I also grabbed the atlas quartz for it. But if there's no atlas quartz for it, assuming this is where it's happening. Hold on, let me does the debug log still happen? Even if I were to do that right now? Find out. Yeah, so it's happening here. Hold on. Yeah, it's happening here. So the problem is, well, the reason why I say that is because if I were to put that in here and run this, you can notice the flickering here on the command line. So you can see like there's more error logs going on if you pay attention to this side here. So if I were to do it here, you'll be able to notice that there's an error log there that is happening right after this function ends. So the question here is figuring out as to why there's no tile at that location for this. Why is that the case? Why is there no atlas quartz for this? It says 31. I'm gonna have to pause it. It is what it is, you know. We know technically the problem right now. So let's close it. We're getting an error here saying that a tile set atlas source atlas has no tile at 3117, but we do have a 3117. We got 31, 31, and 3117. So it has something. There's nothing here, but there is a tile here, right? If I go back here, if I were to disable this, delete it, now there's no tile. So that kind of makes sense though, right? But why is it that when I create it, it still states that there isn't? What other tiles does it say? Maybe if I delete it and re-add it again, maybe that'll fix it. Where's my tile? Where's my command line? Well, 3117, 3117, 31, 31, 31, 31, 31, 31. Damn, that's a lot of 31s in here. Okay, I just saw some other ones. 30 and 20. So 30 and 20, huh? So this one, for whatever reason, so we can delete it and re-add it again. You know what? By deleting it, I think I might have messed up some stuff here. Custom data, anything custom data. Hey, this is not ground. Well, technically it kind of is, isn't it? Surprised I don't. Well, it's technically not water, so okay. I just want to make sure I didn't actually mess up anything else here. Okay. Let's go back to my thing here. We got one 3117, which I already did. 30 and 20, I did it already. I think that's basically it. 30 and 20 and 3117 was the only ones that are spamming like crazy here. We got, look at that, 30,000. That's crazy. Making my game lag like crazy right now. 31. Oh, it says 31 to 21. I didn't do that one. 31 and third. Hey, there. Well, actually, no. 31 and 21. So it's doing it on this one too. So if I were to delete it and add it back again, we create a tile for that. Say, hey, this is ground. So there's a lot of 3117 still. So let's try it again and see if we still get those logs like crazy happening again. Let's save. Let's run it back. And let's see if we're still having those issues in here. There's still some. Yeah, we're still getting 3117s here. Hold on, let's clear it. Yeah. Why are we still getting that? Why does it say it doesn't have any tiles at 3117? That's very odd. When there actually is a tile here. To say there's no tile at this location. It doesn't make sense. And even if there's no tile, why is this spitting an error? There shouldn't be any errors in here. 3117, even though there is a 3117 here. Let's go back to that function again. I don't know what happened to it, so let's look for it. It's only here. Why? What am I using the Atlas quartz for? I'm not even using it. No idea why. Either way, it still shouldn't be giving you an error. I feel like that's gonna bite me in the butt later on. I'm not even using it. Okay, is the game not running? Okay. I feel like that's gonna bite me in the butt later. Especially if there's no debug logs happening right now, no error logs showing up right now. We'll see what happens. Hold on. I'm hoping there's no more errors anymore. But even so, I don't know why that's bugs happening right now. Alright, so let's wait up a second. Let's see if let's clear this thing up. This is still happening. Yes, it's still happening. Boo, I thought it was gonna. They say it's no tile at the source at this location. But why is it looking for Atlas stuff right now? Why is it looking for Atlas stuff right now? Atlas cords. Even though I'm not using it anymore. Why is it? Hold on, let's go to the fish. Is it the fish spawn or the fish itself doing it? If I disable fish right now, you know what? That's one thing to do. Before we start digging in even further, let's disable the fish from spawning. Excuse me? A lot of stuff happening on this game manager thing. Okay. Any fish related functions in here are ponds. So we got clear all ponds, we add a pond. We added pond tiles in here. Chunk of D. What if I just return this and not do anything about it right now? Let's just make a return here. That way there's no way for fish to spawn anywhere, because there's no ponds that he created, and it's never ever gonna find ways to spawn those fish. I mean, another thing we can do is just comment this entire thing out, just to be extra safe. We don't have to build it again after. I just want to double check if it's the fish that's making this happen. I'm pretty sure it is, because it's happening in the water, and that's the only thing I have in the water happening right now. So it should be the only problem right now. If not, if it's still happening, that means it's some. You know what? I didn't disable the fish spawners. We'll see right now. Hold on. Well, let's just. We're not seeing any debug logs anymore, so we know for sure it is the fish doing that. So all right, so if it is the fish doing that, so let's put that back. Let's go to the fish stuff real quick. Anything in fish spawner? I just want to double check. So it goes through this update loop, and this just spawns fishes, right? Well, I mean, well, it is calling it again. It is calling it in here, trying to find a spawn fish location, but that might be a problem. That might be why getting spammed with it, because it's trying to spawn a fish, but there's nowhere to spawn it because of getting errors on it. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Yeah, it should not be in here. But the problem is here, where it's trying to find a location for a spawn the fish at. I got the map position or that position or where I want to spawn it at. And I get the towel info. And then check to see, you know, if it's water and if it's ground is false. If we found a location, so we break, but we do have a flag counter here, which then breaks if we never found a location to spawn the fish in. Then when the timer runs up again, we'll come back in here and retrieve the info once more. Yeah, I just trying to figure out why that gives me an error. Why is it giving me Atlas stuff issues with it? Let me check the farm. Anything here that gives me some weird stuff on it? There's no underwater stuff. There's no water. So there's nothing down here. But there's something locations like these corners where it's actually saying, hey, there's nothing here for you at this location. Well, what could be the issue here? Why does it say 3117? Like, even one of these didn't work either. Like this one didn't work. There's a 3021 here, right? Why did it say that there's no tile atlas source in it? Yeah, ideally it's fine. Maybe I should do that. I created a tile here because I wanted to have empty tiles as well. So if I were to select this bad boy, oops, that's not what I wanted. There's nothing on it. So let's try it out. Maybe it will remove stuff I don't have. It removes those. And I would like to create it again. Maybe that will fix. Maybe I missed stuff. Let's try it out. Let's save it. Oh, so I need to build the project because I need to undo the comment stuff that I did earlier with the fish. I want them to spawn back again. Let's turn this back on again. Don't worry about those right now. Let's run that bad boy. Let's run that bad boy. Alright, so let's remove this and put it out of the screen. I don't want you there right now. Load that back in. Okay. And it looks like it's still happening. Why is it still happening? Why is this a problem? Why at 3117 is the location? Maybe I messed up somewhere and I didn't need to do that. Hold on. Let's try something else. Because I did that last night and I ended up having some issues with it too. Where is my chunk tile map class? And it's not here, so let's find it. So, what will happen if I didn't do any of this stuff on edges right now? mean, I shouldn't draw anything, right? But I'm trying to debug that right now. Alright, so that is built. Wait for this to take up the update and then run it back. Load the game, run it in here. So theoretically, I shouldn't see any pawns anywhere. At least the edges and stuff. There's no edges anywhere. But I'm still getting this thing here. For whatever reason, I'm still getting that error. Even though the edges of the pawns is not there. Why is it still happening regardless of if I don't have it? That's a good question. I'm trying to figure it out. No, I thought I was gonna fix something in here. I don't understand. Why am I retrieving this? Alright, let's do some Googling. Alright, let's let me copy this. Tile source, atlas source. Cannot be found in that location right now. So let's do some Googling around. Do some Googling. Yeah, I think I was reading up this last time, so that's because it's trying to do 11 and 1, if I remember correctly. And there is no 11 and 1 in here, there's only 11 and 0. That's not my case, but I do have something on it. Yeah, hello, oh, map. Go to the tile set tab at the bottom and look for a yellow exclamation mark. I do not have one, but let's double check. So go to tile set. Maybe I missed it, I didn't see it. And look for a yellow exclamation mark, which I do not see where exactly I need to look for it, but no yellow exclamation marks anywhere. Okay, and it's not for me. Oh yeah, I have mine is grayed out, so I don't have that. And I have restarted Godot, so because I was having that issue last night, and I'm still having it. So that's not a definitely not a problem for me. Did I shrink Atlas? No, I never shrank out Atlas ever. To the same size. And I did tweak some stuff on it, but nothing like would cause a tile maps to do anything outside of it. And if that was the case, I should have this open to be able to remove tile sets from here. For the water, the same way, there's nothing there. Yeah, so there's nothing else anywhere. The issue is 3117. Alright, let's go back. It's not a create a tile. No. Oh, not deleting stuff. Maybe I'm gonna have to do this off screen. I just ignored it for now. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this off screen because I have no idea why that's happening. But in order to avoid those errors, I'm about to pause the fishing for now until I can get it. I have no idea what's going on here. Put it back. Yeah, you're free to do anything here if you want. I'm gonna just return it. I don't want nothing to do here. Alright. Yeah, I just don't want the fish spawner to spawn. So that's the problem that I'm having. Where's the fish spawner here? I think it's called update, right? Something about update fish spawner or something? Update fish spawns. Where'd it go? I don't see the update fish spawns. There we go. So you're free to do all of that stuff if you want, but I'm not gonna spawn any fish spawns right now. I'm not gonna spawn fish spawns. I'm not gonna spawn those spawners right now for the time being. That way we can look at other stuff for a time being, and I can look at this issue off screen. It might take me a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Alright. So let's run it back and let's try to play around with it and see if there's bugs that I can find. Those are the stuff that I want to look into. Alrighty. Alright, so let's play around. Let's put some grass. That's basically what I want to do. I want to be able to cut all of this stuff that's in here, because that's where my farm is at, and I need to be able to clear all this stuff without any issues happening, and that is my goal right now, since I'm in a good spot to be able to do that. Cool. Let's cut some trees or chop down some stuff. Chop down this rock, chop down this tree. Holy moly, look at all these tree trunks in here. Oh, I'm not able to select this one. Oh, there we go. Weird. We do have a bug though, so if I select this right now and I move away, that doesn't clear. So I need to clear that as well. Definitely is something that I need to do. let's figure it out. So that is happening in Game Manager for sure. Let's close this for now. Let's close this for now. So I need to figure out where does it detect when I moved around. Where's input stuff here? Input. Okay, we gotta handle input here. I don't think I'm checking for movement for the player here, so I'm just doing mouse movement right now. I need to be able to call the game manager a certain way to be able to remove that selected tile. We got player move action complete. So we got this call stuff where I want to hide the visual of it if I ever decide to break away from this. There's no callbacks or anything that determines when I break that A-star path. The best way I can do this. Is there a way to do it here in Game Manager? I have a reference to the player in Game Manager. Or thinking about if there's no way to find out if I was on an A-star path, but then I broke it afterwards. I can keep track of it. Yeah, that's one way to do it. So let's go to my game manager. Oh, here's right here. We'll create a boolean here. And we want to have a boolean that determines if the player is navigating previously. Player navigating previously. We'll set that to false. And the only place that we determine right now when the player moves around is gonna be when I do any like once here. So here, player is navigating. We then for sure say, hey, this is true, right? And what I'm gonna write it here, but I'm gonna move it in the update function. So if it was previously navigating, but if I'm currently not navigating anymore, so if navigating currently is false, then we want to set that to false and then be able to call this. But one thing here that I always like doing, because you never know when it comes to objects deleting itself, you want to make sure that that equals that. So that's what I want to do. So if I previously was navigating, but I'm not navigating anymore, I should be able to cancel that tile. So where's my process here? Where is my process? Or do I even have one in here? Do I have a process? I don't have a process. I don't have. That's interesting. I don't have a process in here, but now I do. This will be my first process in here. I do have it right here. Why did I not see it? Or because it was an underscore. That's why. I'm a little confused as to why. But anyways, so let's test this out. Let's build it. Let's build this bad boy and we can see if it actually works. Building errors, access denied. That's because it's running. Alright, so let's build that again. I love chocolate milk. Alright, so let's run in. Let's find out. I thought it was signed into this. Okay, never mind. Alright, so let's test it out and see if it actually fix itself. So let's go on top, break. Now it's gone. Let's go. Alright, let's move that debug line too as well. I don't need it anymore. Where is my A-star character? Let's disable debug draw on that because I don't need it. Okay, so if I go on top, you select the tile here, and if I try to move from my other stuff, it should still work. So, oh, fixed. Fixed. I want to clear this. I don't want like that. 1 bit. And you got that golden right there. All right, got a few more minutes. So let's just keep hammering away. Oh, it's a scythe. I'm like, why is it not working? I was getting scared. Alright, so let's clear some paths in here. Cool. Let's break some rocks. A rock right here. Bam. Let's chop down this tree. Oops. A bunch of trees in here. Alright, we got the scythe. We got... Oh, that's not the scythe. Okay. So, that's probably something I gotta test as well. If I am on top of a grass and I click on it, it may select another one that's in a different location. That is a possibility. So, ooh, look at this. Oh, you know what happened? I figured out what the problem was. So, I figured out the problem with this. You know, earlier, this happened to me for one of the rocks. Where was it at? Look at where it was at. Where are you? And here. So when I... Okay. So I figured out the bug and why that is happening right now. So right now, what I'm doing is that when I attack a rock, I end up changing the tile to a different alternative tile so that I can do shaders on it so that you can see it flicker white. If I don't do an alternative tile for the rock, it will do it for all the rocks because they share the same resource file of the shader. So if I'm doing an update on a shader for one of these rocks, it will do it to all of them. And the only way to do that Only way to avoid that and be able to only do it for this rock is to create an alternative tile and do the shader on that tile. But the problem when it comes to this tile, on this situation here, when I ended up accidentally hitting 2 objects at the same time, it doesn't revert the other object, the other rock in this sense here. So I was able to attack these 2 rocks in one blow, or one attack, which shouldn't be the case, first of all. But it's a good bug that I need to figure out. I don't know if I should fix the bug or not, but let me go back to that again. So if I attack both of them at the same time, it will only revert the alternative. One of those objects here will revert the alternative tile back to its normal tile, but it doesn't do it to the other one, because I'm only detecting one. I'm only doing it for one from one rock. So if I hit this rock here, it creates an alternative tile real quick, does a shader on it, and then reverts it back to the normal tile. That is not the alternative tile ID. But if I'm attacking both, it will only revert one of them, because I don't do a group of them. I never expected to attack two at the same time with one attack. So that's why I'm not able to attack both. Unable to attack this rock that was happening earlier, because I hit both. That's so right now. So now I'm not able to. Now I'm not able to attack this rock anymore, because I never reverted it back to normal, since there's no collisions happening on this alternative tile. Okay, so I figured out the problem with that. There's 2 ways that I can do this. Is I don't know if I'm okay with attacking 2 at the same time. Is that a good thing or not? Or should I restrict it so it only attacks 1? So 1, I need to lower the distance of the recast, right? So it's not super long. So that's one option. The other one is just be able to revert if you attack multiple tiles at the same time. Yeah, I think the one lowering the recast would probably be the best option, because I don't know if I should be able to attack multiple. I don't know. I'm debating on that. That's a good. Maybe I'll ask you guys and see if you guys prefer. How does that sound to be able to attack multiple of them at the same time? Maybe if you're able to upgrade your tool in some way, so it's more powerful and it's able to attack multiple in the same vicinity, and maybe that's okay. I also gotta fix this bug here, because you know he has hair, and then once he attacks, no more hair. He just instantly goes bald. He's just bald out of nowhere. And it's an easy fix actually. I just need to add the hair for the other animation. So that's one thing I gotta do right now. Andre, welcome to the stream. Is it raining all the time? That's right now, yeah. At the very moment, it is raining all day. But I will fix that so it changes depending on the time and date and on the season, I guess. At least that is the plan. Now I have that bug again. I can't attack this one for. So I gotta figure that out. If it's okay being able to attack multiple rocks or only do it to 1. So I gotta fix that bug. See, because they're in the same alternative tile. When this changes to the other alternative tile to do the shader of that flickering, and now it does it for this one. So now I know for sure that that is the issue, and that is what's happening for that. Very interesting. It's just weird to see. Weird to see. Alright. I'm just chopping down stuff around here, making sure I can clear the areas in here. And we have a lot of stuff laying around just because my inventory is full. And I gotta figure out what to do with all of this stuff that's on the screen here. Oh yeah, I'm have the wrong. It's almost morning here in this game. It's gonna be almost morning soon. It's gonna change to daytime, I should say. Chop down this tree. Oops. So the goal right now is just trying to shop all of this stuff and see if we can find any bugs. We found one for sure right now. I think the main fix for that would be to decrease the recast distance, and that should fix it. But I probably should add more checks on it and see, just to avoid that problem, just in case it ever happens. Because you never know. You never know. Oh, it's almost becoming daytime. All right. Oh, what happens to this now? Did I attack two? I can't attack this one. Oh, there we go. Weird. Okay, so maybe another bug there. Yeah, it's just a weird stuff where sometimes it doesn't do anything unless I go to a different direction and hit it. Super Mario 64, let's go. I mean, so far, so for a majority of the part, I've fixed those bugs that were happening earlier in the stream, and kind of looking better, for sure. There's still some minor bugs in here, but for the majority of the part, I'm clearing this area. Almost no issues. Almost. Oh, I see. Because of this interact thing here, it doesn't let me click anywhere. That's what's happening right now. I'm like, why is it not letting me click? So I gotta disable inputs being blocked by that interact thing. But cool. All right. Yeah, it didn't do it when it was in the bottom. I'm wondering, wonder what is the issue of that? What is the main reason for that happening? Interesting. Let's just remove this rock real quick. Yeah, there's some bugs in here. At certain angles, it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to do anything. Or is it because I'm too low now? Oh, it should be fine, I think. Yeah. Like, that raycast is going through this guy, for sure. But it's not doing anything to it. But if I go to the certain angles in here, it could either be the raycast, the collision. That's wrong tool. Something to look at. Something to look at later on. Let's chop down this big tree right here. Okay. Oh no, that's a scythe. Use this guy, a pickaxe. Yeah, I cleared a big recent stuff here. There are some minor stuff where I found out where it's the shader issue that I mentioned earlier that I'm not able. If I were to attack two objects at the same time, it doesn't revert one of them back to normal, so I'm not able to attack or do anything to that tile. And the other one is certain angles. Sometimes if I'm chopping the tree at certain angles, it doesn't actually do anything until I move to a different location and it does do it. So there's two things there. And then that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so that didn't do it. I was trying to make it happen for that, but that didn't happen the way I wanted to. Let's see. There we go. So we attack both, and because of that, I'm not able to attack this one, but I can attack this one if I want. Oh, hold on. Or is it this one that I'm not able to attack? Or both. It could be both now. But yeah, those are the two bigger things that I'm looking into. That I need to look into for sure. And the other one is for a reason, the tile atlas source. I'm getting a whole bunch of error logs for it, and I'm not entirely sure why that is happening. So I was able to find 3 things in this stream. But cool. I'm gonna have to call it here though, guys. It's a pretty chill first stream, the first live stream here. It was very chill. And I'm hoping to do this more often. And I'm probably gonna be doing one on Monday. On Monday, same time at 8 a.m. in the morning. So thank you guys for being here. And for those that are watching this in the future, when it gets uploaded to YouTube, thank you guys for watching. And I'll be talking to you guys later. All right, have a great day, guys. Have a wonderful day, or depending on your time. And I'll talk to you guys later. Signing out, guys.